All right, guys, you got this. Let's go. Gun right, triple E. Close, let's go. On one, on one.
Ready?
Ready.
What's up, guys? It's Pick'em with HuddleGG, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Huddle. If you guys are new to this series, it's something that we do each week where we answer your guys' questions. So wherever you're watching this video, if you guys have a question, just leave it in the comment section below for a chance for it to be featured in a future video. If you don't see it in a future video, you can always join our free Discord and ask us there by going to HuddleGG/Discord. Again, with that being said, let's jump right into this week's episode. And our first question today comes from Short2Dog3, and they ask, which ability is better, Unstoppable Force or Colossus? Now, in general, both of these abilities are really great to put on your defensive line to get pressure on the quarterback. The short answer is going to be Colossus, but it really depends how you're attacking with that defensive line. If you're getting one-on-one blocks with that specific player, they're essentially going to be the same ability. Okay, so what you're going to see here is this player, this right of screen D tackle, we have Unstoppable Force on for this play, and what you'll see is when we go to say hike, he's just going to absolutely dominate that one block. Okay, so again, if he's getting that one-on-one block with that right guard, he's going to completely dominate that. And again, that's going to be the same way across the board if he's getting the one-on-one. Okay, so same thing here. If we go and put in a Colossus player, so Marcus Stroud, we have Colossus on, and we come out in the same exact play. Again, that same player here, we have Colossus on right there where we had the Unstoppable Force the play before. And you're going to see if we get the one-on-one block, he is going to dominate that, and they're going to be getting into the backfield very quickly and getting pressure on that quarterback almost immediately. Now, where this does change between the two abilities is when we start to get double teamed. Okay, so if we go and we put in Von Miller, who has Unstoppable Force here at the left of screen D tackle spot, and you're going to see if we come out in that same play. Again, if we double team an Unstoppable Force, we do not need abilities on our offensive line to shut down this Unstoppable Force. So you're going to see I do not have a single ability on my offensive line. What you're going to see here when we go to say hike, if we double team that guy, he's not going to win. Okay, now our right guard eventually got beat one-on-one, but if we go to the replay here real quick, you can see the guy that has Unstoppable Force right here is not going to beat this double team. Okay, so you're seeing he's getting completely stonewalled. He is not winning this interaction at all. Now, he does disengage at the end because we move to the left, but you can see he is not beating this double team. And if we run one more rep here and we double team that Unstoppable Force, again, you do not need any offensive line abilities to shut down this Unstoppable Force if you utilize a double team. And you can see here, if we just stand in the pocket, he's going to get blocked for a long time and give us plenty of time there in the pocket to make our reads down the field. Now, if we put a Colossus in that same position now, you're going to see that Colossus will dominate a double team, okay? Especially if we do not have abilities on our offensive line and specific abilities. So if we double team this guy here to the left, it's not really going to matter if we don't have the abilities, the appropriate abilities on our offensive line. If we go to say hike, you can see that he splits that double team very quickly, and he's still going to be getting into the backfield. So that's going to be the difference that you're going to see between Colossus and Unstoppable Force, is really when they're engaged in these double teams. And again, you can see Colossus is going to split that double team consistently and still get to that quarterback. Now, if you do want to shut down Colossus as well, if you have a post up on a player who is double teaming the Colossus, that's going to shut that down. So again, an Unstoppable Force you can shut down completely with just a double team, no abilities required on your offensive line. If you want to shut down that Colossus, just make sure that you have a post up on one of those players that's engaged in that double team on that specific defensive lineman. Our next question today comes from Dior, and they ask, how do you block DB Fire 2? Now, this is a blitz that was really popular in years past. It's not quite as popular this year, but you will still run into a few people who are running this. And again, this is something that's found out of your dime or your dollar looks, where we have the 2 slot corners blitzing to each side, and we're going to have a cover 2 shell on the back end. So if we look at the play art here, this is the play that people will be running, and a lot of times they're going to have baseline on and they're going to press. Now, we're going to talk about how we can block this with just our offensive line, and then we'll also talk about how we can block this with our running back as well. But first, we need to understand why this blitz works so effectively, and it's simply because of the width of the blitzers, right? So you're going to see the pre-snap alignment. The defensive ends are outside of the tackles, and we also have another blitzer coming on each side of the field as well. So it just makes it hard for our tackle and guard to each side to get out wide enough to pick up this blitz, but we will talk about how we can get this picked up pretty easily here. Now, the one thing you do want to know with this blitz as well, they are sending 5, and we only are going to be blocking 5 in our first setup, so we're going to be getting one-on-one blocks across the board. that can lead to some sheds, especially with the angles that these defensive ends take. So again, when these defensive ends do make contact with the guards, a lot of times they will still get a fairly quick shed. It's not something that we can really control. Just know that you want to have a route combination set up where you can attack fairly quickly, because you're not going to have all day when they're sending 5 different players at your quarterback, right? So what we're going to do here first is talk about just with our offensive line. So when we are setting up our blocking, you can see we put our running back out on a route. This is very simple, to be honest. The setup itself, all we need to do is half slide one way or another. Okay, so if we half slide to the right, you're going to see that the left side of the line is going to kick out and get those blocks. And again, those red blocking lines show a man-to-man block, so they're going to target the defensive end and slot corner right away. And then the right side of our line with the green blocking is going to be more of a zone blocking scheme, and it's just going to help them get wide enough to get the right side slot corner as well. So what you're going to see when we go to say hike is our guys are going to be able to pick this up, and we're going to be able to get a hat on a hat, step up in the pocket, and we're going to have plenty of enough time to throw the ball downfield. Now again, anytime we are talking about blitz pickup, the goal for us is to have no free runners, right? Like I said, there will be reps where these guys get a shed. You cannot necessarily control sheds. So if this left guard here gets shed right away, again, that's not something we can really control. Just make sure you have the right abilities on your offensive line to handle those. But here again, our goal is to get a hat on a hat. You can see we do a great job getting, again, a person for every blitzer that they are sending after our quarterback. Now, like I said, this is something that you can half slide either way. Okay, so that last time we half slid to the right. If we half slide to the left, you're going to see we get the same thing. It's just flipped. The right side is going to kick out and get the defensive end and slot to the right. And then we're going to get that zone blocking scheme to the left. If we go to say hike, you're going to see that they're going to pick that up. Again, that time, just like I just talked about, we did get a shed where, again, that's something we can't really control. So that's why you want to have a fairly quick route combination on the field when going against this defense. You can see we pick everybody up, right? There's no free runners after our quarterback, but because of these defensive ends and their angles, a lot of times they will get a quick shed like you can see there. And actually both defensive ends got quick sheds on both guards here. And this is exactly what I said you do want to be aware of. So like I said, you don't want to be running a route combination like we have here with 4 verticals. We're just talking about the blocking here, but make sure that you have a route combination that you can go fairly quick at getting rid of the ball, just to make sure that you can avoid, again, those potential sheds with this specific defense. Now, when it comes to blocking our running back, what we want to do is if we block that running back, we're just going to half slide away from him, and we're going to double team the D tackle. Now, when we do that, you're going to see that it now picks up all 5 people that are the threat on this DB Fire 2 setup. So now we're just going to call hike, and you're going to see that we have, again, the ability to step up. Again, make sure you're aware you still can get beat with the sheds, but we're going to pick up everybody one-on-one. And again, they're sending 5 people, so that means they have less people in coverage, right? So you are able to attack this down the field. Don't panic and think that you have no time. Just don't expect to have 6 seconds in the pocket, right? You can see here, we're asking our running back to pick somebody up as well one-on-one. He's not always going to win that, okay? And again, we talk about time and time again here at Huddle, the best way to get pressure on the quarterback is knowing the right angles. This specific play has really good angles from these defensive ends, and that makes it really hard for our guys to hold up for a long time. But again, if we are blocking that running back, we're just going to block him. We're going to half slide away from him, double team that D tackle, and this is going to allow us to pick up everybody, get a hat on a hat, and then we just want to have that quick route combination there down the field to make sure that we make our reads. Like I said, they do not have a lot of great coverage options when they're running this defense, so make sure you understand how to beat it with your route combos, and just make sure that you are not allowing any free runners, because if you allow one of those slot corners to come off the edge free, that's going to make it really hard for you to do anything, because again, if your opponent takes away that first quick read, you don't have any time. But again, make sure you get a hat on a hat, use these blocking setups, and you're going to be able to attack this defense a lot more consistently than you may have been in the past. Our next question today comes from Maxi6541, and they ask, what's the difference between a soft squat, a hard flat, and a cloud flat? And this is a great question, and unfortunately it's not something I can entirely answer in a video like this, just because there are a lot of things that go into how these zones cover, specifically a cloud flat and a soft squat, but we will give you a brief explanation and a breakdown of what each of these zones do. So let's just dive right into that. And the first one we're going to be talking about here is a cloud flat. Okay, now again, all of these zones are going to be on our outside corners here for the most part in a cover 2 scheme. That's what we're going to be showing here in today's video. And what you're going to see is we're not running any zone drops. If you run zone drops, all 3 of these zones are going to play the exact same. Okay, so if your zone drops For your flats or on 10, all 3 of these zones are going to play the same way. So don't expect them to play differently if you're using zone drop. If you're using stock coverage, that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Now, again, the first one's going to be cloud flat, and his reaction's really dependent on what that outside receiver does. Okay, if that outside receiver goes vertical, even if we have somebody going underneath like a flat route there, that cloud flat's going to follow that streak or that vertical route to about the 22-yard depth, and then he's going to come back down underneath. Okay, so if we go to say hike here, you're going to see that he's going to go back to about 22 yards, and then he's going to come down and cover anything that was into the flat area. Now, again, a lot of these names, what their name is how they play. So he's going to cloud over that side of the field, and then he's going to come down to the flat. And you'll see once we talk about hard flat how he's going to play as well. But if we look at this cloud flat again real quick, you're going to see, again, he's going to get this zone chuck, which is really nice about cloud flats is they're going to slow the route of the receiver down. And then he's going to follow this and carry this vertically about 22 yards. And then he's going to break and come down and cover anything to the flat, as you can see he did there. Now, that's essentially what we're going to see from a cloud flat. Again, if that outside receiver is going vertical. Now, if they would run something underneath where that outside guy does a drag and the inside guy does a flat, something like this, you're going to see that cloud flat get to about 14 yards of depth, and then he's going to come down to the flat. He's not going to get as vertical if there's not a vertical threat in his area. So if we go to say hike here, you're going to see, again, he will get to about that 14-yard depth, and then he's going to break and come down to the flat. So if we look at the replay here, again, with a cloud flat, you're going to see that, again, this guy, he's going to get to about 14 yards because nobody's running vertical in his area, and then he's going to break down. Again, he's clouding over, and then he's going to come down to the flat. Now, that's essentially, again, what we're going to see from a cloud flat. Like I said, there are more details. In certain route combinations, you will see a little bit different reaction from him, but in general, that is what he is going to do. Now, the next one we're going to look at is going to be a hard flat. Okay, so if we have a hard flat here, this guy is just going to play aggressively hard to the flat every single time. So it doesn't really matter if there's a vertical route running by him. Again, if they are running something like this with verticals, it doesn't matter. He's not going to carry that very far. He's going to sit there. About the deepest he's going to get is 10 yards, as you can see. And if we look at the replay here real quick, again, this is with nothing coming to the flat. He's just, again, all 4 verticals. He's going to get to about 10 yards, and that's as deep as you're going to see a hard flat go. Now, if they do have something that is underneath of him, a lot of times he's not going to get that deep. Okay, so if they run something like this, where they have that slot corner getting to the flat, he's not going to get as deep as he did before. There you can see he got to about 7-8 yards, and he came down, and that's what we should expect from a hard flat. Again, they're not going to carry much of anything vertically down the field. They're going to stay underneath 10 yards. Here you can see he gets to about that 7-8 yard mark, and because there's something coming to the flat, he's just staying down low. And again, his job is the aggressive play to that flat area of the field. Now, the last one that we want to look at is going to be a soft squat. Now, a soft squat is going to be something that has some matching principles to it. Now, if everybody's going vertical, okay, so if that number 1 is going vertical, the first thing you're going to see, if nobody's going to the flat, is that outside corner is going to match the vertical route. Okay, so if the outside receiver goes vertical and nobody's coming to the flat, then that soft squat is going to match down the field. So we're going to say hike here. You're going to see that he's going to run with that the entire way. He's not going to come back down to the flat area because there's no threat to that side of the field, to the flat, right? So you're going to see here, this guy goes vertical. Nobody's coming to the flat, meaning the slot corner's not on a flat. The running back's not out on a table or anything like that. So this guy is going to match vertically down the field. He is going to play more of a trail technique on this vertical route. He's going to get bumped and let the guy go by him. But obviously we have the deep safety over the top. And this is a fairly good bracket that we can have on this specific receiver. Now, where you're going to see soft squats change a little bit is they do have a trapping technique to them. Okay, so what do I mean by that? If the number 2 or that slot receiver or that running back goes to the flat quickly, the soft squat will then match the flat. Okay, so again, we talked about if everybody goes vertical, he's just going to match the number 1 vertical down the field. But if they would run a quick flat here to the slot receiver or even a table to the running back, what you're going to see is he's going to start to go back, and then he's going to pin down, and he's going to match down to that flat route. Okay, so again, it's going to be a trapping defense here with our soft squat. So what you're going to see is this guy, again, he's going to start out going vertical, but once he realizes that somebody is coming quick to the flat, he's going to pin down on that and take that away. So essentially, if we look at a soft squat, we're going to get some principles like the hard flat, where they're going to play down to the flat quickly, especially when we have that route going to the flat. But we also have the potential of a soft squat covering vertically down the field if we have everybody going vertical, right? If he has no threat coming to the flat to his side, he's not going to play that trap technique anymore. He's going to match that number one vertical. So again, it's a matching style zone there with the soft squat. And again, all three of these can be useful if you are using them in the appropriate situation. So understanding what they do and what they cover best is really important in making sure you can mix up your defense and get those needed stops on that side of the ball. Our last question today comes from Hot Boy, and they ask, is there a way to block the guard disengage blitz with just our offensive linemen? Now, I'm going to say the short answer to this is no. There are ways that people like to try to pick this up with just their offensive linemen, but none of them are consistent to the point where I think we should teach it as, hey, use this. Because if I'm still having to look at the blitz to see if it's coming in, that's not an appropriate blitz pickup in my eyes. We will talk about why this blitz is so effective, and then we'll talk about a way that we can pick this up every single time with our running back. And it's not the normal way that people are running. It's a way that I like to just give myself a little bit more security in the pocket, and we're going to show that as well. But again, the blitz that people use is out of cover 4 drop, out of dime 3-2 or dime 1-4. They're going to bring one of the linebackers down to the opposite guard, and then they're going to blitz the linebacker above him. Now, what they're going to do from there is they're going to run into the guard, and then they're going to peel back. So essentially, the reason why this is working is they're sending 4 over 3 to the left side of the field, right? We have the user, the D end, the D tackle, and then the blitzing linebacker. And then if we even drop that D tackle, which people will do at times as well, we still create a 3 over 2 with this user, the defensive end, and then that middle linebacker there behind us blitzing. But again, what it looks like here is they're just going to run into this guard, peel back, and you can see that we're going to get that easy pressure there. And again, if we run it one more time, I forgot to take that running back off the block and release. You can see it still came in. But if that running back's out on a route, it's very difficult because no one's even going to bump into this linebacker. And you can see there, that blitz is going to come in free, and it's very frustrating to deal with. But again, the reason why it's working is if we look at this in the replay, we are sending 4 over 3, right? This center has to look out for this D tackle to start the play. He's not going to be able to get all the way to the left to start. And that's going to, again, allow this guy here to get through that B gap and get that easy pressure there on the quarterback. Now, what a lot of people will try to do is they're going to try to half slide towards the blitz, and then they're going to double team the user. Now, this can work at times, but if somebody on defense knows what they're doing, this is not going to work as well, because all they really have to do is bring this user in a little bit more to get that guard to come to the center first. And if we make the right contact, we're still going to be able to get that blitzer free, right? So that is something that can work at times. Like I said, I don't want to teach that as, hey, use this to pick up this blitz, because we still have to worry about the blitz coming in. So that's not a good blitz pickup to me. Now, the way to block this is going to be to use a running back to this side. So what we want to do is we want to block that running back, and when they go to set this up, what a lot of people do to pick this up with a running back is they are going to half slide away from the running back, and you can see that now the running back is picking up that middle linebacker. This is a way that we can block it, but when we do this, we're getting a one-on-one with that D tackle a lot of the time, and that's really frustrating for me. So what I like to do is I actually like to half slide towards the running back and double team the D tackle. So now you can see that the running back's still targeting the appropriate player, but now we are able to generate that double team on the defensive tackle. So now when they go to run this blitz, you're going to see that our running back's able to pick up that blitzer. Now, I do want to say, depending on who your running back is, and this is a hard one to control the offense and defense with myself, we do want to step up into the pocket to make sure that we can, again, navigate this a little bit better, because you're going to see a lot of times he's going to beat that running back to the outside. Okay, so if we just step up in the pocket here, we can avoid this pressure. But you can see, again, we talk about time and time again, the key to a good blitz pickup is going to be a hat on a hat. This running back, you can see, does step up and pick up that middle linebacker who's getting through the B gap really well. We have everybody blocked here. Again, at this point, it's our job to have a quick route combination and also to step up in the pocket and avoid any shed that we may get. And again, you're going to most likely get a shed quickly on your running back unless you're using somebody that is those bigger body guys that have a little bit better blocking. Adrian Peterson's not the best blocker in the game, but again, he does his job enough for us to get to where we need to be. Okay, so again, one more time, all we want to do is we want to block that running back. We want to half slide towards the running back and double team the D tackle. And this is going to, again, allow us the ability to get that running back one-on-one with the blitzer. And we're going to be able to step up in the pocket. And you could see that we'd be able to navigate that and throw the ball down the field. Again, that user's not going to be there anymore. He's going to be dropping back into coverage. And you can see our running back actually did a good job there holding up his block. But you can see we have a hat on a hat. We're able to double team this D tackle, which to me gives us a lot more confidence to be able to step up in the pocket. Again, this guy is not going to be here. He's going to be peeling back to cover over the middle. If he is still blitzing, you can just throw it quickly over the middle. There's going to be nobody there. But again, this is going to be the user back covering your routes. So again, having that security that we can step up to where that defensive tackle is double teamed makes it a lot easier here to navigate the pocket and give us plenty of enough time here to make our reads down the field. And again, this is going to be something you do want to make sure you do understand and that you know, because this is a very popular blitz that you're going to be facing a lot online right now. And being able to shut it down will really force your opponent to try to change things up and get them uncomfortable, and that's going to help us win more games. And if you guys are looking to get even better at Madden, make sure to join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord. Have a great day.